just for a minute. Close your eyes for a second.
How y'all doing, my darling Posh fams? Welcome back to the channel. It has been, what, 4 or 5 months? I would say with the winter, I snoozed, okay? But I'm glad to be back because the Real Housewives of Potomac is back on our air. And I am going to try and unpack the series as we go. Now, this is season 10. And this particular season, there is a lot of resolutions for us. There's a lot of questions that we're going to be getting some answers to. And I'm going to get answers to all of them. In fact, I cannot wait. This is one of my favorite Real Housewives franchise ever. And so I would do everything and anything to unpack and run the commentary here. Thank God we are entering the warmer months. It is spring and now daylight saving, so the days are getting longer. And if I do finish my 10-hour shift, sometimes I can come on here and recap Real Housewives of Potomac. Now let's get into this particular season. Season 1 has just sort of kicked off with a few Now, 2 new housewives have joined the gang, with one exiting, another one just been released from jail. We're talking about the Grand Dame. Now, the season concluded with a reunion where we saw Grand Dame admitting to the DUI charges that were before her. And a couple of months after that particular reunion aired, she was taken into custody for a year sentence. And in September, I think first week of September 2025, she was released, I guess, for good behavior and every other thing. She has been released. So obviously it was just in line with the women finishing shooting of this particular season 10. So I do not know in what capacity we're going to be featuring Karen on this particular season, but I do know that I am pretty sure Andy is on top of it. Otherwise, why are we watching? Monique Samuels is back. Now, if you remember the infamous binder, she originated that one, and that's like gone on the archives of the Real Housewife franchise in the reunions as we know it. So she is back. I'm not sure what capacity she's going to be. I think maybe friend of the show. We do know she has a few friendship to recall. I don't know how to say this. There's a full crack broken friendships along the way. So she needs to make peace, break bread, and hopefully move on with the ladies on this particular show. Now, speaking of the new entrants, Kiana introduces us to her friend, Angel. She seems like a well-grounded mom, and I can't wait to, find out what she's about. Next up is Tia. Tia has a Nigerian root, so I'm not gonna say much, but she is British. She tells us this much because her British accent is very prime and proper. And I'm even trying to mimic her in this particular commentary. Now, what I'm gonna say is this is particularly the second bloom of Stacey Rush, okay? Because we ended season 9 with Stacey's pack and web of lies. Like, she literally was crumpled in that web of lies. We do know, like, if you saw my commentary all season last year, I told you from the get-go that TJ was fraud. And no surprise there, the reunion aired and TJ decided he was gonna sue Stacey Rush for unpaid production fees because he was acting on behalf of Stacey, faking to be Stacey's relationship love interest on the show. And time for payment, Stacey sort of bailed on him and he wants his money. And that has just been the angst that has sort of led to this particular season opener, because the ladies are coming for blood and Stacey, Pinocchio style, is doubling 10, 20 toes down and saying her truth should be believed. Well, we all know there's a few murky waters here and there. It's hard to tell, but Stacey seems to be firm in her truth, and I could call it delusions or just someone as a pathological liar that when you lie too much you become disillusioned and reality is sort of now fiction, or it's let's find in between. I'm struck Stacey Rush's head somewhere there. So this particular season opens with Giselle inviting the ladies over, obviously to have a friendship therapy check and reminisce on the better times with Karen Huger, who was just sent to jail 2 days prior to this particular sit down of the ladies. Now, before the other girls got together, we saw Ashley and Giselle unpacking Stacey's Rosh's reunion session. Now, there's been a few revelation as well, and that is to the fact that Stacey, or TJ is now coming out to say online that he's going to be suing her. He's got receipts. They had a ball event or a celebrity style event they attended where they met TJ's friend, who is an actress, who then gave them a little more breakdown on exactly what's going on. Pretty much they have a few more intel on Stacey, and they are trying to get Stacey to fess up to these truths, or clarify, or be held accountable for some part of the truth. Who knows exactly to this point? Whilst they were trying to dig down or uncover most of the surfaces of what is going on, we saw Kiana and Wendy come through. Now, you know what? There's everything tells you about the relationship dynamics, and as well those that are rehearsed for the show. Of course, storyline. The show must go on. Now, Kiana and Wendy, we all know them to be friends. Now, the friendship level of friendship and depth of friendship remains to be seen, or it's very much in question. Okay, but I do see a few body language. They sat together, but you could see Kiana moving her lips to the left or to the right, and Wendy trying her very best to be composed or be friendly with Kiana. So it kind of tells me these two people have rehearsed this particular season down packed. So they're gonna obviously cook up a fake ass beef, excuse my French, and try and unpack it all season long. Now, how this is going to work, I really don't know, because why do we need a fake beef to get the season going when there's already so much juice to unpack for the next couple of weeks? But there we go. There is drama made up, and we're going to walk and see how this particular drama unfolds. Now, very quickly, the girls sat down to, should I say, eulogize Karen. Now, they had memories. Obviously, they've been with the lady for 9 more, even some more longer. And it's sad. It's a sad situation to see someone, go to jail. I do not know that experience. It seems to be a very common thing over there in America. But I'm just saying, okay? And, with the realization of the DUI, the charges that I brought forth, and the actions, apparently, according to Giselle, there's been multiple other DUI unrelated charges that she, has sort of been happening behind the scenes. We don't know this, okay? They're all alleged, right? And she feels for some reason this time Karen has to deal with her truths and deal with her demons, as it were. And so it's quite sad. We don't know the depth of substance abuse. We do not know what is triggering, and I hope Karen comes out of this on the other side better, and teaches the other ladies a thing or two about liquor. Because right before this particular season opened, we saw Giselle advertising or thinking or deciding for herself if she was going to take a liquor. Let me quickly get to the main event, because as soon as Stacey came in, I don't think that lady had a moment to sit down before chaos ensued. She did the first walk-off, because she had, how many walk-offs in total for this particular episode? 3 walk-offs. So before the first walk-off, they had to rehash the reunion and the webs of lies with regards to TJ. She said, no, TJ is my best friend. He hurt my feelings, destroyed our relationship, but I have forgiven him. Okay, what exactly did he destroy? We do not know. What are you admitting to? We do not know. But she claims they were in a relationship, okay? Which then now begs to question what happens at the next scene, because once the whole accountability began a little bit heated, Stacey walked off because she wasn't really ready to address it. And I would say this is where it ended with this particular sit down to talk about how the season was going to play out. The next we saw was Stacey and Tiamo, TJ, they all, sound the same. No wonder. There's something about her and the man whose first initial starts with T. Tiamo is her ex-husband. Now, we know she was divorced last episode, right? Or they were going through a divorce, or she had filed for divorce. It was one of those two. But now they are back together. Now, I can understand when you circle the block, okay? I honestly, they've got a daughter, Arabella. So for Arabella's sake, whatever they do, it has to be in the girl's best interest. I do not care, and I am not judging. what Stacey's love interests are. However, that chick has got to be held accountable. Mia used to have the record for the most liar on the show. But it seems as if Stacey has picked up right where Mia left off. And quite frankly, Stacey is lying with a straight face. So according to her, the story, they're gonna stick to the script. Not tell the daughter because they told the daughter they were getting divorced. Not tell the daughter they're getting back together because they want to see if it's going to go the long way. Apparently, they had a trip to Mexico and that changed everything for her. And they're going to work things out. Now, I don't think they were divorced in the first place. I think Stacey needed a storyline to come on the show. And I think this now made sense that she paid TJ to act as a love interest, because I remember TJ overemphasizing that they were not intimate. Like, he let the whole world know that they were not going to be intimate. So it was so clear as day that this particular relationship was so stage managed. I mean, I do not know much, but it looked so fake from the get-go. So I guess she needed a strong entry point for the ladies and for viewers to be glued on her, and she got that. And now she's back with her husband because that particular terms of engagement has expired, with TJ obviously blowing the lead. So, you know, it's clear. I actually can't say this is exactly what is going on, but I don't know if Stacey is ready to admit that for herself even. And now moving on with Giselle, you know, an empty nester managing her home by herself, as well as being the bad bitch in the DMV, you know, hanging out with her male friends and trying to get the ladies together. There is Wendy, who is now trying to renovate her empire, all thanks to Happy Eddie's business thriving, and you know, he's now opened multiple stores in multiple states. Honestly, I did not know the DRUG business was, you know, in America, because I hear it's legal over there. It's, you know, making that big money that he has expanded this fast, this quickly. Congratulations to this family. And Wendy definitely knows how to spend the money. So Eddie, you better come up with more ways to expand your business real quick. Now we move on from Wendy planning her renos to Kiana and her mom introducing us to her new space. Now, we all know the issue with Kiana and her partner George. They broke up after the season 9's reunion aired, and a couple months later, according to Kiana, they were in Jamaica and decided to rekindle their love interest. No, but she's since moved out from George's apartment, now living on her own, trying to find her own space. But I guess to what it were, her ex, or now current, I'm not sure what's going on, doesn't want to film, and so she needs to film without him, and hence the reason she needed to have her own apartment and not should I say have a convolution of issues that will cause her to lose the man completely. So I see what's going on here. According to her mom, there's a disconnect, which means Kiana is losing herself in the relationship and needs to get it together, move on, find someone else. But Kiana sees it differently. We're going to let Kiana sort out Kiana's mess, okay? And it was at this point in time that we saw Ashley planning a second bloom, which obviously is the headliner for this particular season opener. The second bloom is her transitioning life post-divorce. And according to Ashley, she is doing well because she did make a good payday following divorce settlement from her husband. You know what? Life's a bitch, but Ashley is doing very well. So she wants to introduce the world to a new Ashley with this particular ball, and she had to have another go with Stacey to, should I say, resolve or find common grounds. Now, over a shopping event, these ladies met, but very quickly things went south. So this was where we saw a second walk-off from Stacey, because this time Ashley was like, well, you shouldn't have left with the first event, because we had only just started getting to unpack situations with you. And she then went for that to express the concerns they had with the receipts they already had. Stacey again was not sure why Ashley is on her behind. Lack thereof, okay? She is as skinny as a model, Stacey. She's beautiful. She's a very beautiful black woman. And so Stacey again not wanting to be held accountable or face the music, if there is any, to which the question this time, Ashley, went further to find out by asking her if she was divorced. Apparently, there is a database for people who are divorced. I would think that's particularly right because Ashley was able to search and was able to find her status on this particular website. But when it came to Stacey's information, no result was found. So it begs the question. Now we know, or I know, Stacey is not divorced. She was never divorced. It was just a way for her to come on the show to have a storyline. And so trying to unpack the truth from Stacey is going to be a whole 10 episodes to the end of this particular season. Will we be able to find out the truth? Remains to be seen. But I can tell you today for a fact that the girl is lying. We all don't need to go further to dig deep. We know from what we can see. But again, Stacey, not willing to confront, walked off for the second time, leaving Ashley with her glass of drink and bewildered. So, again, Kiana is introducing us to her friend, Angel. Now, very quickly, you could see Kiana has a few bones to unpack or break with Wendy, but decides to throw Wendy under the bus before Angel meets her. Apparently, Angel feels they went to university together in the heydays. Wendy, on the other hand, doesn't really know Angel from the university days. But again, Wendy is someone that is very standoffish. Like if Wendy sees you from when she was, in her 20s, she'll deny you. Okay, she will deny you. So it wasn't a far-fetched story for Angel to say she knew or knows of the group dynamics already. The DMV is small. She was born and bred in Maryland, moved to Colorado because her husband is a sports guy, and now that he's retired, they are now thinking of settling back to their roots. So I guess we're going to be seeing a lot more of Angel and what she's about. But I think Kiana introducing her was a step to take to bring her to the girls group. Now Kiana feels she knows her for over 20 decades, but from conversation that's going to be brewing in the next episode, it feels like Kiana is a hater. But we'll get there. I don't know much, but from what I can see, there's just a lot that I am not sure that needs to be said. But Kiana, she's angry. So the particular second bloom, I don't know, I would say this is more Stacey's bloom ball event, because the walk-offs are just now phenomenal. Now this particular event, they were not sure Stacey was going to present because of the twice walk-off that she's made. But yeah, this is where all the ladies met, with the exception of one of the Monique, who isn't here. I think probably she came a few seasons or a few episodes towards the end of this particular season. But anyways, very quickly, Ashley introduced herself to the group and made a quick dive towards Stacey, and that created its own drama, because this was where this particular episode ended. But before the episode ended, there was a sit down between Wendy and Kiana. Kiana is trying to address the beef she has with Wendy. Guys, I don't understand this. It looks very stage managed. It looks very fake. Kiana felt her makeup was questioned. She was not acknowledged when she went to an event that Wendy was in, which was quite ridiculous, quite frankly. Is this a beef? I don't know. But I guess Kiana just has a bone to cry. Wendy was as bewildered as the rest of us, because we're not sure why Kiana is angry. Because Kiana is angry. Now, whilst they were trying to unpack the situation, things went left between Ashley and Stacey. Ashley was trying to, this was where it was so embarrassing, because Tia was being introduced to the group. Now, very quickly, Angel was there as well, being introduced to Stacey. And before you knew it, all hell broke loose with smelly breaths. Ashley sort of made a snide comment towards Stacey, saying that her breath stunk. Now, I do not think that was the right way to convey that message. But I'm going to leave that there, because very quickly things went left. Because for one thing, Ashley wanted Stacey to represent herself proper, because she came into the group with lots of misrepresentation and lack of truth. Okay? Now, Ashley, being the accountability police, don't know who made her one. She has had 9 seasons where she has had a few lies peddled. And so having Ashley as the accountability police trying to hold Stacey accountable just seemed a little bit ridiculous. But again, the way the ladies put her down in front of the other group of women was quite disrespectful. And I think this was where Stacey Rush did the third walk off. And this is where the episode ended, guys. I cannot wait to unpack a few more of this drama in episode 2. We'll see that when the episode starts next week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you same time here. Keep it locked in my mobile space. As always, you are deserving. Be safe and stay focused. Thank you. Bye.